Well, here we are again in episode 20 of Ancient Mesopotamia, Portrait of a Dead Civilization by A. Leo Oppenheim. We are summarizing his book, which is an excellent introduction to Mesopotamian culture, religion, and geography as well. So today we are in part 6 of Mesopotamian religion. This will be the final part of the section on religion. We're looking at part 2 of divination, communicating with the gods, so more specifics about divination. We're going to look at an introduction to omens, messages that are written in animals, and then finally the broad category of unprovoked communication, which can come in a variety of events in the natural world. So let's take a look at some basic forms of omens. Here are a couple from the series 𝀭SummATon, which is if a city. It's named after the what we call the first line as the incipit. So 𝀭SummATon Tablet 1. There are, I think, 107, if not more, tablets in 𝀭SummATon. This is Tablet 1, entry 23. If a snake falls in front of a man who is bringing a lawsuit, his suit will be in existence for a long time. So you can see in the first part, what we call the protasis, you see an event taking place. And in the apodosis, the second part, you see the result, the thing that will take place, the warning, the omen that is coming because of the event that takes place. In addition, if a white fungus appears in the pathway to a man's house, that house will have trouble. So this is also 𝀭SummATon, Tablet 12, entry 19. These are constructed very similarly to legal code entries, or code is the wrong word, the entries in legal text. So here are a couple from Codex Hammurabi. If a man should kidnap the young child of another man, protasis, he shall be killed, apodosis. If a man commits a robbery and is then seized, that man shall be killed. So you can see that they're constructed very similarly. And again, they are formed with the protasis if, and then the apodosis then. So if X happens, then Y will happen. The apodosis is a warning, and that should be, that we really need to make that clear here. It's a warning of things to come that can be averted if the appropriate rituals are performed. That's very important for these omena. So some of the messages, the provoked messages that can be written in animals, and we talked on Wednesday in the last video about some of the provoked messages, the media that can be used. We talked about oil and water and smoke that comes from a censer. But very, very common is the use of an animal as the medium upon which a god can write a message. So the diviner will ask the god to write their answer on the entrails of the animal that he is sacrificing. So the diviner will examine then, after killing the animal, the various parts of the body of the animal, the various organs. So this could include the liver, the lungs, the windpipe, the gallbladder, and the intestines. What they're looking for are variations from the norm in the shape, state, or coloring of these organs. And there are a number of illustrated tablets, sometimes that are actually shaped like the organ that is being examined. So, for example, there's a Babylonian liver omen that actually is in the shape of the liver, and each of the quadrants or each of the sections in the liver are areas that you would look for discoloration, and there are messages written in each one that would indicate what the omen is, given the discoloration in that area. Finally, omen series. are often based on the part of the animal that is being examined. Now, there's also a plethora of unprovoked communication in the Mesopotamian diviner's corpus, and these include, but are not limited to, malformed newborn animals. So, for example, we have the series 🀭, which means if a newborn animal something. So this is, again, we name the OMENS series after the first words of the first entry. So if a newborn animal, for example, has 5 legs instead of 4, then this will happen. And so there's a whole list of malformed newborn animal omens in the series 🀭. Events that take place, strange events that take place in cities or houses, the movements or behaviors of animals, fire, there's agriculture, all kinds of things, are found in the series 𝀭. We looked at a couple of them on the first slide of this presentation. So 𝀭means if a city, and so again, that's the first omen in that series. So that one is if a city is set on a height, and I think it's a bad omen if it's set on a height. There are astrological signs in the series Enuma, Anu, Enlil, when Anu and Enlil, that's what that means, and that's the first line of the tablet series. These are signs in the heavens. Dreams we want to mention here as well. They can be obviously provoked or unprovoked. If you remember from the very famous Gilgamesh epic, when Gilgamesh and Enkidu are going to the cedar forest to kill Humbaba, there are a number of dream huts that are set up in a series of the text where they are provoking a dream. And of course, they are ominous dreams that come to Gilgamesh that Enkidu sort of reinterprets as good things to come. But that's where that comes from. There are also unprovoked dreams that the gods can just bring. And of course, you also see that in the Gilgamesh epic. So, all right, in summation, omens are constructed in a fashion that is similar to entries in legal texts. So there's a protasis if and an apodosis then. So if X happens, then Y will happen. Messages are often provoked in animals. This is one of the Steve Tinney, Dr. Tinney at the University of Pennsylvania said in one of his lectures, it was a bad time to be a goat in ancient Mesopotamia, and that was the case. So, the goats are often used as this provoked means of communication with the deity. They would kill it and look for different shapes or discolorations or whatever in the various organs of the animal. Finally, a number of unprovoked signs can come in natural phenomena, including malformed newborn animals, events in cities, houses, animals, etc., also in the heavens and in dreams. So omens were a very important part of Mesopotamian religion in that this was one of the primary means of communication with the gods. And so having someone that was skilled, trained, a scholarly individual who could read these signs, provoke these signs, and communicate with the gods on your behalf was extraordinarily important and, of course, integral to really daily life in Mesopotamia. Coming up, writing and the scribal art in Mesopotamia, the next section in Oppenheim's book, so you don't want to miss that. So stay tuned for that. Until next time, resist poor scholarship. Always ask, how do you know that?